The universe had something else in mind for me. Trusting in the universe sometimes takes that leap of faith. And yes, I did put in my entire life savings. Yes, it was a big risk. And it was also something that I needed to do for my personal growth. Hello, my spiritual friends, and welcome to another episode of Life Ascended, where we are discovering our divine potential every day. And today I am going to be solo on this episode, and I'm really excited to talk to you about trusting the universe. So, I want to open up this conversation with a story about my life that maybe you've never heard before. When I was 24 years old, I decided to open up my own restaurant. And the process of this actually took about 2 years. And so I used to work for Starbucks at the Salt Lake International Airport. And at the time, I thought I was just going to do that. I was going to work for somebody else for the rest of my life. I really had no idea that I was going to become an entrepreneur. But the universe has ways of bringing us little clues and little tidbits of information to kind of spark us into a pathway. So at the time, I had my business degree. I was ambitious. I was, full of energy. And I didn't know that the universe had some things in mind for me. But what happened was I had a partner who approached me, and he was one of my college buddies, and he was all about, let's open up a chain of juice bars in Texas. And so at the time I was married, my husband and I actually went to Texas. We started researching different locations. And I was living in Utah at the time. And so I wasn't, I really didn't know anything about Texas other than they had a large population and they were hot. So I thought, well, a juice bar would be really good there. But the partnership fell through eventually. And so my husband and I, we decided to try and open up just one store in southern Utah, right outside of Zion National Park. So we spent 2 years researching locations. We found an architect. We found a piece of property. We were going to build on that piece of property right outside the park. We perfected our recipes. We had focus groups to try out all of the smoothie recipes that we were developing. It was a really in-depth process. And so we needed to get a loan to especially to start up a new building, right? To build up a building. And so what happened was we got one of those small business loans, right? We were approved. Everything seemed fine. And then we were going to sign the papers, and the loan fell through because they had just changed vice presidents of this bank that we were getting our loan from. And we ended up not getting the loan. Okay, so they just decided that they wanted more money. They wanted a bigger down payment, and this was my life savings. So at the time, I really didn't have that much money. So everything fell through. I was totally devastated. I thought, oh my gosh, this is not going to happen. My dream of owning my own restaurant is just going to stay a dream. And I thought I was going to be at the airport for the rest of my life, working for somebody else. But this is my point. The universe had something else in mind for me. And the very next day, I got a call from one of our partners who was going to be renting bicycles out of our space. And he told us, hey, there's another building that's already going up across the street. You can come in and you can rent that space, and you can come in right away, and you don't have to wait, a year or whatever it would take to put up a new building. So we ended up opening our restaurant in June of 1999, which was actually faster than it would have been had we actually gotten that loan. And it worked out even better. We were on a better side of the street. We didn't have to, go through all the planning phases of the city, getting the approval of the building and all the details that it takes to put up a new building. So my point of this story is that sometimes you have a plan. I had a plan of opening up a chain of restaurants in Texas. Well, that didn't work. But did I give up on my dream? No, I still took little steps towards my dream, even though I knew I didn't have enough money to open up a whole chain of restaurants. And I ended up running that restaurant for 7 years in Southern Utah. So trusting in the universe sometimes takes that leap of faith. And yes, I did put in my entire life savings. Yes, it was a big risk. And it was also something that I needed to do for my personal growth. So sometimes we need to take a look at our life, and we're always getting that feedback, right, from the universe. We're always getting something happening that is showing us a direction to take or not to take, right? We get those little nudges from our intuition. We have something that gets us excited, something that gets us fired up. Those are the kinds of things that I want you to think about as you go through your life. There's a reason why you get excited about something. There's a reason why something is being shown to you. And it's not always, sometimes we think it's bad, right? I thought it was horrible when our loan fell through. And it's like, oh, how could the universe do this to me? My life is over. Right? You're 24 years old and you think your life is over. It's pretty funny. But I mean, that's how it can be, right? We think if something has to happen a certain way, then that's the only way that it can work out. But the truth is, the universe has even better plans for us. So I want you just to look at your own life and ask yourself, how is this actually working out in my favor? How is whatever it is, even if it's a challenge, how is this actually helping me? What am I learning from this experience? How am I growing from this experience? And sometimes it's going to show you things that you don't actually want so that you can then choose what you do actually want. So trusting in the universe doesn't mean that you are giving up. It doesn't mean that you're, just quitting, right? It just means that you're allowing the universe to be your teammate. You're allowing the universe to flow with you and show you the next steps. And trust me, you don't need to see the entire picture to make steps every single day. You just need to take the next step. All right, so I would encourage you to start paying attention to the signs and synchronicities. I've definitely talked about that in another episode. Looking at the number patterns that may be repeating, the signs that are right in your face, start looking at the universe as a feedback loop for you to understand more about how you are experiencing your reality. One of the ways that I love to do it is using my cards, my card decks. I've got over 50 in my collection. I published my own deck of cards, this Palmistry Tarot deck, and I did that to have a dialogue with my higher self, with the universe. And every morning, this is one of the ways that I love to wake up. I get my coffee or my tea, whatever I'm having that day, and I will pull cards, my cards of the day, just to gauge, what does the universe really want me to know? And sometimes the universe is very clear and basically says, oh, you need to stop everything you're doing and go meditate. I've had that happen many times, actually. And that's a sure sign that there is an important message that wants to come through. I also pay attention to the people in my life. What are the messages that are coming through from various individuals? What are they telling me? What are they showing me? What kinds of emails am I getting in my inbox? These are all things to maybe pay attention to. And you can ask for specific signs as well. So if there's something that you want to see in your field, go ahead and ask for it. I've asked for unicorns. I've asked for roses to show up. It's really funny how the universe works and can just start to play with you. And they pick certain things for me too, like unusual birds. That one came in once I wasn't even planning, and it just came in. So asking yourself, what signs can I use to have as a dialogue with the universe? I have this thermometer that doesn't read the temperature, it reads me number messages. And and it changes, which is also really cool. But yeah, I have two thermometers now in my house that actually do that. And my husband was like, this thing is broken. I just put in a new battery and it's still not reading. And I told him, well, it's because it's not reading the temperature anymore. It's reading you a message. And it can have a brand new battery and then it'll still do its thing. So I find that quite amusing. But yeah, so I want to hear from you. What are some of the signs you get? What are some ways that you receive messages from the universe? And really looking at maybe a time in your life when you had something that you thought wasn't going to work out, and then it did even better than you could have imagined. That's the magic of the universe. That's the magic of trusting in the universe. So I want to share a little bit about how this shows up in your hands. So your little finger, also called your Mercury finger, is the finger of communication. All right, so all of your fingers, by the way, represent different aspects of yourself. And so, for example, the thumb is your willpower, your index or Jupiter finger is how you look at yourself. The middle finger, Saturn, is how you relate to work and duties. Your Apollo finger has to do with how you show yourself to the world. And Mercury, your little finger, is all about communications, trust, and intimacy. So when this finger bends, what that means is that you don't trust others. Okay, so ideally, all the fingers would actually be straight, but occasionally they will bend or twist. And the little finger is actually a very common finger to see sort of leaning over towards the ring finger, or outright bending towards that finger. So the more it bends, the less you trust others. Okay, so just take a look at your own Mercury fingers on both hands and just see what that's doing for you. But that's that's a sure sign that you're not trusting. We also have what's called a Mercury challenge line. Okay, so challenge lines are simply minor lines that show up in the hands to challenge you to grow in some area of your life. The Mercury challenge line is present when you need to grow in the area of trust or intimacy. So it's an indication that you don't trust or you have some kind of intimacy problem. And it's going to start over by the thumb, typically just above the thumb in the region we call Mars. And it will go across the hand to the Mercury region of your hand. So it's typically a straight line. Sometimes it could curve a little bit, but it's going to head over towards that region. So this is a very common challenge line, by the way, to see. You might have it on one or both of your hands, but that's challenging you to build your trust. And there's another marker that we also want to check for called the Mercury line. And this one has to do with trusting your inner voice. Okay, so the Mercury line is going to run from the little finger and it goes kind of diagonally towards the center part of the lower part of your palm. Okay, so this is what we call the Mercury line. So sometimes it's completely missing, which means that you don't pay attention to this part of yourself. You're not paying attention. You don't believe you have an inner voice, or it's just not on your radar. More often it will be present, but it'll actually be weak. And what it looks like typically is it'll have multiple variations. And it doesn't look like a clear line all the way up to the finger. So that means that you don't trust yourself. All right. So this is how we can tell if we have some trust challenges in our lives. Okay. So what I love about the hands is that they will show you exactly what it is you need to heal. In so many ways, right? That's what makes it so amazing. And trust is actually one of the 8 essential intentions that my spirit guides gave me to manifest, right? So if we want to manifest something in our universe, in our world, we need to trust that it is happening for us. And so I got this message from my problem-solving guides. I wanted to read it to you. They said, I am one of your problem-solving guides. I am here to help you with the emotion of trust, for trust is one of the aspects of creation and must be clear in the heart and mind of the divine being, or the desire shall remain in the unknown. To make something known, trust must be resonant in the field. Okay, so if you really want to manifest something, trusting that it's actually going to happen is a key component to that actually manifesting, right? Otherwise, we push it away. If we don't trust, we push it right away. So I'm actually going to share with you this invocation that I received from my spirit guides to build trust. So we have these portals that are located in our hands, and they're located on each of our fingers. There's a portal of healing. It's located on our left hand, and it's on the left little finger, so left Mercury. This is our portal of healing. And this is where we can open up our trust. Okay, so what I want you to do is just take that little finger, go ahead and put it right on your heart and connect the energy. And I'm going to play a tone for you called the sun tone. Okay, this is using a tuning fork that is going to open up the frequency of trust for you. All right. So we're going to repeat this invocation together as well. Left Mercury, portal open so that I may access my divine birthright of healing. I hereby claim the resonance of trust. I trust in my ability to co-create in the realm of creation. I trust in the divine order of all that is and all that is manifesting. I trust in my own abilities as a divine creator, that I surrender any and all dissonance of trust. I hereby transform and transmute it now. I am aligned and resonant with my desires and wait patiently and proactively as I know it is arriving in my third dimensional plane of existence. Thank you, and so it is. Just go ahead and absorb that right into your left Mercury portal of healing. And take a deep breath, see how that feels in your body. And we're going to also anchor in a couple of positive affirmations. So I trust the timing of my life. I trust that everything is unfolding for my highest good. I trust that I am guided and supported at all times. And if you start to integrate these beliefs into your energy field, then you're going to start to see the magic of the universe unfold for you. So I would love for you just to notice what is occurring in your hands, in your life, in your true ability to trust that the universe is helping you. And I welcome your comments. Let me know in the comments what comes up for you as you listen to this episode. And I look forward to having another conversation with you again very soon. And I wish you infinite abundance. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us on Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Please show your support by tuning in, following, sharing your comments, and inviting others to listen. Take it further by visiting ascension17.com for deeper spiritual growth, guidance, programs, and products.